Hi, today I have a fantastic topic that I know you're going to enjoy. And it's about motivation. By the way, if you're a coach, this is for you. You're a leader, this is for you. You're a pastor, this is for you. If you're a teacher, this is for you. And if you're a parent, this is for you. If you're in any kind of position where you have to inspire people or motivate people, this is also for you. And this is also for you as a person. Now, there are two types of motivation. It's either towards motivation or away from motivation. When I was a child, in my church then, a movie was being shown at a certain time. And then it was about a guy who died and went to hell. And the sight was very terrible and very horrific, that when altar call is made, a lot of people will come out, including the children, because nobody wanted to go to hell. And then, but the downside of it is that after a day, or maybe sometimes hours, a lot of us had forgotten. A lot of the children had forgotten, even the adults have forgotten, and they go back to whatever they were doing. And that is away from motivation. And away from motivation is when you are being motivated to avoid something. When your reason for doing something is to avoid a certain thing. Like you are reading for your exam because you do not want to fail, not because you love to read, but because you do not want to fail. That is away from motivation. Now, you pay your light bill because you do not want your electricity to go. Now, that is away from motivation. Now, whenever you are being motivated to do something and it is because you're afraid of something or because there is a threat and then you want to do that thing, that is away from motivation. Now, you obey your boss in the office because you do not want them to sack you. So that's the reason. And you go to work because you don't want to be broke. You have a relationship because you hate being lonely. You don't want to be lonely. That's away from motivation. But towards motivation is when you are being driven towards motivation. Like I said before, the downside of away from motivation is the moment you are done, the moment you hit your goal, it is like, what next? You know, you are no longer inspired. You are no longer motivated. It ends like you are reading for your exam. The moment your exam is over, thank God you don't want to read again. You are done with the reading. You just dust your book and throw it somewhere. You know, if your motivation is because you do not want to be broke, the moment you have a certain amount in your account that makes you feel comfortable, you just want to quit that job. You know, but towards motivation it's like a lifetime commitment. It's like when you love something. So towards motivation is when you are moving towards a certain thing because you love it. You're doing it because it is something you know you want to do, beyond being afraid, beyond the consequence, beyond what may happen if you're not doing it. Beyond that, there is love in it. There is a reason that is way beyond you being afraid. That means that you can actually, whether or not you're writing your exam, you are reading. That means you actually love to read, you know, so you motivate yourself to that point that you are reading, you love to read. It is not because you have to write exam. You know, you are in a relationship because you love this person, not because you do not want to be lonely. You love your job. You're working because you love your job, not because you're afraid of being broke. You see, so away from towards motivation, it keeps you going, even when the target is, you are done with the target, or you set a goal, you are done with the goal, you still want to keep doing it. Assuming now you are going out for marketing to get a particular client. It is not just because you want to get a particular client. You just keep going out to get more clients. You just keep going out to do more of the job. You just keep going out to meet up with the goals. Even when you are done with your target, you see yourself keep going, keep moving. That is towards motivation. It's like there is something you are looking at, not because you're afraid, but there's just something you are looking at, and it keep pushing you. So towards motivation keeps you going, even when there is nothing, even when there is no target involved, even when there is no goal involved. You are just doing it all year round, all day long. You are just doing it, and it gets to the point where you really love to do it, and you're doing it. So away from motivation and towards motivation. So if you are a coach, if you are a leader, and you are trying to or you are motivating people towards doing something, you have to pick which would work for you, or which is better. Now, towards motivation is regarded as positive motivation. Away from motivation is regarded as negative. The reason is that it does not have a foundation. It's certainly at a point, it doesn't have a hold anymore. But towards motivation is regarded as positive, because after a while, you see your team keep on going out, because you have motivated them to the point where, whether you are there, you are not there, whatever happens, they are out there to do it. They have come to the point where they love what they are doing. Like I said before, it went beyond being afraid to go to hell to loving God. You're serving, I'm a Christian because I love Jesus. I'm a Christian because I love God. It is not because I'm afraid to go to hell. Yes, I do not want to go to hell, but it is way beyond that. It is way beyond the fact that there's hellfire. Now it is all because I really love God. From the bottom of my heart, for the fact that I really love God. So away from motivation keeps you doing what you're doing, keeps you loving what you're doing, keeps you on it, keeps you on the job. But towards motivation, once the goal is met or whatever you're doing is over, you're like, oh, thank God, I'm about it, and that is it. So, but one thing you should know is that away from motivation, you can get your results. Towards motivation, you can get your result. But it's just that away from motivation, gives you short-term results. But towards motivation gives you long-term results. Because away from motivation dies over at a time. Once you meet up with your goal, it's gone. But towards motivation, it's like a lifetime. So which do you prefer? Or which would you rather choose? Away from motivation or towards motivation? So when you are motivating your clients, or when you're motivating your team, or when you're motivating your people you're leading, or your children, you set out something, not just telling them that, look, if you do this, if you don't do this, you're going to get this, or if you do this, you're going to get this, you're going to get this. It is better that you bring them to that point where they begin to understand why they should do what they are doing. If you can move them from the point of being afraid, of the point of consequence, to the point of interest, where they begin to develop interest, real, genuine interest for whatever it is, where they begin to love whatever you are showing to them, it will go beyond, away from motivation, but now towards motivation. However, sometimes you can start by, away from motivation, and then eventually arrive at towards motivation. It's just how you're able to play it. If you're able to, because some people actually, you just have to start with away from motivation, because if they don't see the consequence for something, if they don't see a reason for something, a reason that is threatening, or a reason that is that has fear in it, they don't get motivated. But the moment you tell them that, look, if you don't exercise, you're going to die. You see them, they want to lose all the weight, all the calories and all the weight. But for just losing weight to be healthy, they will never do that. So away from motivation and towards motivation, in summary, is like, you're exercising because you want to lose weight. But the moment you lose that 10 kilo, you are back to eating all the things that you have decided you won't eat again. But towards motivation, you do not just want to lose weight, but now you have come to the point that you understand that it is for the sake of your health and the sake to be healthy. At a point, exercising becomes your lifestyle. You want to exercise at all time. You want to be healthy. You want to, be able to jump around, and feel good and feel young and all that good thing that comes with exercising all the time. So you have moved from away from motivation to towards motivation. I hope this helps.